Alright, fight fans, this is G Funk, and I'm back. Gonna talk about Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, on whether I think he's the real deal or not. But first thing I want to say is to Golovkin is congratulations on his latest win against Martin Murray. Very good, solid win for Triple G. You know, he looked very good. You know, I am impressed with you know, his fighting style. He's very good and crisp with his shots. Very good technique. Likes to come forward. It's very good at cutting the ring off. Has a very good power. Has shown to take a good shot. And you know, he's just an all-around solid fighter. For me, I have no problem with saying he's the best middleweight right now. You know, even though Miguel Cotto has that lineal title, you know, I don't think Miguel Cotto is a middleweight. I just don't consider him a middleweight. I don't even think he's ever going to fight again at middleweight unless, you know, it's an absolute payday, you know. And you know, I just don't consider him the man right now at middleweight. That's Triple G, in my opinion. Now, like I said, in the Murray fight, it was a good fight. Even though the scorecards were lopsided, it was still competitive in spots, in a lot of spots actually, for me. You know, like I said, Martin Murray's a good win, solid fighter. But I think some people, they've been getting carried away with this Martin Murray thing. You know, I didn't see anybody getting excited when, you know, Sergio Martinez fought him. You know, at the time, Martinez was the lineal champ at that time. I didn't see anybody getting excited when that fight happened. I didn't see anybody getting excited, you know, when Felix Stern fought him. Felix Stern's, you know, pretty much known because, you know, he fought Oscar De La Hoya. You know, I thought he actually beat De La Hoya in that fight. But yeah, you know, nobody was getting excited when Murray's fighting these other guys. But, you know, when Triple G fights him, it's a big deal. You know, I just think people are jumping the gun on this kid. You know, like I said, the title of the video, you know, is he the real deal or not? I'm not quite on board with that just yet because, you know, at the end of the day, I haven't seen him fight anybody really. Don't get me wrong, he's taking care of business, beating up on these guys who get in the ring with him. You know, he's, like I said, he's taking care of business, but, you know, these guys really don't have the skill set to really give this guy some problems. Murray was really kind of tailor-made for him. And Murray, in my opinion, made it very, very easy for Triple G in this fight, just because he came out and decided he wanted to fight on the back foot, you know, and started circling the ring and fighting off the ropes. I mean, that's just not what Martin Murray does, you know. I think he would have had a better chance if he just tried to stay in the pocket, block a lot of those shots with that winky right defense that he has. Because, you know, when he did let his hands go, he was landing some clean shots on Triple G. He was, you know, landing combinations. And, you know, he was getting some things done in there. And, you know, that lets me know right there, somebody with some good skills that's able to take a good punch and, you know, can move and can deliver a good punch himself. And there are some guys around the division that can do that. You know, they could give Triple G some serious problems, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to say that I want Triple G to move up. You know, that's really his decision. For me, I like when guys dominate divisions, when they clean out divisions. I have no problem with that. That's why I like a guy like Andre Ward, you know. And Ward, you know, his story is a little bit different than Triple G's because, you know, we all know 160 is not that good. There's not a lot of talent there. Now, when Ward was in the Super 6 challenge, you know, he was really, you know, coming in as the underdog. You know, nobody picked him to win that, and he went ahead and took care of business. You know, he beat everybody in the tournament, and you know, he became the guy at 168. Really out of nowhere. You know, I mean, he had the gold medals in that, but, you know, he really hadn't fought anybody up to that point, and he cleaned everybody out. And there were some good guys in that tournament, but you know, hey, Triple G, like I said, I like guys that clean out divisions, but at the same time, we have to think of it. To me, it almost looks like when the Klitschko's were dominating heavyweights. You know, there's really nobody there for them to fight. So you know, their place in history, you know, you have to consider that. You know, they're at the end of their careers pretty much. Well, one of them retired, and the other one is, you know, getting ready to head towards the tail end of his career. But you know, Triple G is just starting out. So as far as pound for pound ranking, I mean, obviously you got to put him in the top 10 because he's ruling a division. But you know, how close to the top 5 can you put him? You know, because of the competition that's there and the competition that he has fought. You know, that's the way I look at it. And you know, like I said, I don't want to force him to move up unless the money's right for him. And there is money fights, you know, all around his division. You know, there's guys like guys who have headlined pay-per-views on at 154 pounds. Like, you know, a Canelo Alvarez, obviously, big popular name. I know Erislandy Lara called him out on Twitter. You know, that would make him more money than anybody, I think, at middleweight besides Miguel Cotto. You know, Chavez Jr., I heard there was some sort of challenge between him and Chavez Jr. $1 million for the knockout or something like that. You know, that would be a great fight. I mean, instant fireworks if that fight was to happen. You know, obviously the Durrell brothers are there. Those guys can, I think, give him some trouble with their boxing ability. And of course, you got Andre Ward, who's there. You know, these are all big paydays for Triple G. I mean, there's some more in there, but you know, really, it's up to him if he wants to do that. And you know, he can't complain that you know, he's not getting big money fights or anything like that, or getting big names, because you know, there are big names there around there that he could fight. And if he wants to wait for the guys at 154 to move up, hey, he can do that. Or, you know, if they don't want to move up and fight him, then, you know, he can wait around for, you know, I don't know how many years he wants to sit at middleweight. And, you know, then he can go up to 168 and fight some of these guys. But keep this in mind, guys, all right? With when these things happen to certain fighters, right? You know, we've seen this before. Now, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen to Triple G, but I'm just giving you an example of what could possibly happen, right? We had a guy like Roy Jones who sat around 174 pounds, you know, light heavyweight for years. Moved up, won all the belts, was the man. But at the same time, you know, he was fighting firemen, you know. He's fighting guys that, you know, boxed on their free time, you know. You know, he's fighting a lot of nobodies for a long time, looking real good, looking fast, looking sharp, crisp, you know. Then when he finally decided to, you know, move up, he fought Ruiz. You know, he picked the weakest heavyweight at that time to fight. You know, he won that belt, and then he came back down, fought a guy who was really, really good in the division, in Antonio Tarver. And we saw what happened there. Tarver took him to the limit the first fight and then knocked him clean out in the second fight. So these are the kind of things that could happen here if Triple G continues to just sit at 160 and, you know, knock these guys out who are just, quite frankly, not good enough. You know, they're just not on his level. Like I said, it looks good on the record. But at the same time, those sort of things could happen, you know, like a Roy Jones scenario, where, you know, you're knocking out these guys, you know, one after another, looking good against these guys, and the next thing you know, you get in there with somebody with some real skills, somebody who can handle, you know, what you bring, and, you know, they take you to the limit and maybe even beat you, knock you out, you know. So, you know, that's where I'm at with Triple G right now. I think people are just jumping the gun. I do think he's a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter, but I don't think he's near the top of the list for me. I know a lot of people have him up there, but like I said, I think they're jumping the gun. So, you know, that's pretty much all I got, guys, on Triple G. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to, some other topics here, because there's a ton of fights happening now that the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is signed. I'm gonna try and do some predictions on all these videos, all these fights that are coming up. Good fights coming up this year, guys. 2015. We should all be excited. You know, and I can't wait to see them all, man. I'm gonna try and drop prediction videos on every single one of them, if possible. So be on the lookout for that. So if you guys, you know, want to drop some comments, go ahead, let me know. If you want to subscribe, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, the like button, whatever you want to do. Dislike, you know, talk shit, whatever you want to do. I'm here, man. I'm here to talk boxing, and that's it. But you know, those are my thoughts on Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Definitely a top 10 pound for pound fighter, but I think a lot of people are definitely jumping the gun. But this is G Funk anyway, and you know, getting ready to end this video, guys. I'm out.